Well, hello everybody. So I believe Coleman's already warmed up. I'm sure he's very very warmed up now. So we have quite a number of people in here, and like I mentioned, we've always wanted to do something with Warsaken and the community because they have been so amazingly supportive of both sides, and we have a lot of our OGs on their side and likewise on ours. So I thought this would be a really great time for us to get to know each other a little bit more. And I think Coleman's going to whack this and we're really going to knock this off. So let's go, Coleman. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Good morning. I don't know how warm I am. I haven't spoken words yet this morning, but my voice isn't too dry and cracky, but it's awesome to be here. Good morning, RFOX fam and DJs. Good morning, Warsaken Legion. It is awesome to be here with two communities I really love, and there's been a lot of back and forth between us the last couple of weeks. A lot of people have enjoyed it. I know I personally have loved seeing everybody get together.
For sure. So I guess to kick things off, because we do have a few of our usual community members tonight, do you want to share a little bit about Warsaken? What's it about? Because I know that, Adelaire, Renee, and everybody else have shared a lot of what they do, but majority of our community are still pretty new on what they should be doing, what kind of things they should know about Warsaken. So maybe we can kick things off from there.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm on the Warsaken team. Warsaken is a military-themed trading card game. We started out as a game, built it off the blockchain. We're getting ready to launch physically. When we were looking around at how to launch the set in the real world, I suggested blockchain to the team, kind of poked until they listened to me. I was doing some freelance work, actually writing some lore for the team. So this is a couple years ago. We were already deep into the lore, had already play tested the game extensively, and once they looked at the blockchain, they thought it was an awesome idea and decided on Wax, which was great because I was on Wax already. We did look at multiple blockchains, and for the amount of cards we have and what we're doing with the game, it was the perfect place to launch. We did launch. We started selling packs about a year ago, December, so a little over a year ago. We do have active passive staking live right now, where whatever you own in Warsaken assets, you can go into your account and claim loot daily. We do have our beta of our Blitz version of the game live. So we have 3 versions of the game. The main game is Warsaken Standard, which is what you see on the card. You see the mechanics, you see what the leaders can do, all the different cards, how they interact. We developed a quick and easy game to learn and to play called Blitz for the blockchain, because we know not everybody has 30 minutes to sit down and play, a pretty well-developed strategy game. And so we developed a quick and easy version called Blitz, and that is live. If you have the cards you need, you can jump in and you can play that game now. So it's awesome to see that it's on the blockchain. People are playing it. We've got a lot of feedback. That's been months that we've been going with that. We'll be making some updates to that. Our developers are working hard behind the scenes. We'll be updating the beta. It's always good to see a project move forward. And then our next goals are to finish the beta of Blitz and to get Warsaken Standard out. In the digital format, we did a Kickstarter for physical cards, so we are in the physical space. We are currently working on getting the art and everything uploaded and sent to the card printers and get everything shipped out. And we hope those cards will go out to the people who supported the Kickstarter in summer. So that's a little bit of where we're at and where we're going. I know a lot of people in here have already seen the cards, seen the art. There has been a lot of talk between the two communities going back and forth. So I think it's pretty familiar to a lot of people, but yeah, we can definitely jump in and answer any questions everyone has. We've got some giveaways to do. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I also have our community organizer, or the lady who runs everything on our Discord, Agent Zarazavai, is with me today as well.
Hey everyone.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm under an alias here because I'm a tita. I'm like an auntie here in RFOX. So I'm already integrated here.
Nice.
Awesome. The honorary title, I love it. Yeah, so do you want to introduce yourself a little bit and say what you do in Warsaken? And I know a lot of people already know you as well.
Yeah, so I've been with Warsaken from early or maybe end of September 2021. And I started off learning about Warsaken, and then there was the beginning with all the promotional activities where there were a lot of cards given away, and I was just pulled in by the art, by the fun community. And then, yeah, I was asked to be a mod. So I am Agent Zerzavai, and I run the Discord with my team of mods. And we try to do a lot of fun stuff during every week. So each mod has their own style of giveaways, and I try to help wherever I can. So if you have any questions about the game, about the Blitz version, about deck building, or XP, or building your collection, whatever, you can always send me a message or just tag me in Discord, and I will be happy to help. So that's my role.
I can't say enough good thing about Dani, Agent Zerzavai, whatever alias she's going by. The team is working to move the project forward, both to build the game itself. We just finished set 2, the first sign off, and we're doing some quality assurance on that. But we needed someone who could run the Discord community, basically supervise the moderators, make sure everything stays according to our standards. We have an awesome community over there in our Discord. The Legion is amazing, and it's because the mods always keep things on track, keep people happy, prevent people from getting into too many online fights. And it's a lot like the RFOX community. When someone jumps in and has a question, like, it's a place where you can come and you don't have to feel, you feel welcome. As soon as you jump in and ask a question, there's always people popping up to help. And that's a great feeling to come into a community like that, whether you've been there a while or whether you're showing up for the first time and are asking your first dumb question.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever a dumb question. And as you can tell, it's like our Discord's constantly with all kinds of GIFs and everything. And I think right now Adelaire is just spamming with all kinds of stuff. So I actually have some questions, if you don't mind me asking. Is basically, I kind of want to know a little bit more about the Kickstarter, because I'm looking at the page right now and there are like a lot of interesting details that have changed since I first got introduced to Warsaken. I don't think this was up at that time. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about the Kickstarter program.
Unfortunately, it has passed and it's too late to get into it. We will have some physical card sets available when those cards ship. We've really pushed as hard as we could to get as much as we could into the box, to pack as much value as we could. So instead of doing levels where you could buy just a Blitz set or just a Cabal set or just a standard set, we put everything you need to play the entire Warsaken game into one set, including the turn counters, some little markers to put on your deck, including dice, including play mats. And then on top of everything else, we made all the cards foil. So there's over 1,000 foil physical cards that you get in the set. As I said, the Kickstarter's passed. We will have a retail value of a retail price of $199 for the set when they come out in the summer. Originally, I think it's just going to be the United States. We're looking for ways to do international. And that's another thing that, we can definitely talk about, the international flavor of RFOX and Warsaken, and how awesome it is to have such support from around the world and to bring communities and bring like-minded people together. But yeah, we were really proud of how that turned out, and it's a reflection of how we want to do everything and how we've tried to do everything in the blockchain, and I think we've pulled off so far, is just to give the most value, the highest quality product we can with everything we do.
Sounds awesome. So if someone new from our community, they probably just like jumped in and this, where should they start if they want to be part of the Warsaken community?
What do you think, Dani? You want to jump on that one? You want to tackle that? You're really good at welcoming new people. You do it all day long, it seems like.
Well, first off, jump in the Discord and just say hi. There are always people in there who are very happy to welcome anyone who comes in. So Also a big shout out to the Legion, as we call them, because the community is very involved. Yeah, so we have the launch trailer, which will show you the packs, and yeah, I think it's a really nice way of getting a feel about the game. And then I think coming in and just start building your blitz deck is a good way to get familiar with the cards, get familiar with the collection, experience the pack opening experience. For most people, we say if you start out, get some booster packs or some elite packs, or if you're wanting to go big, get some premium packs. Crack those open and get a feel of what's inside and look at the art. And then for Blitz, you will need a specific amount of cards, which you will need some help to get that all together and to make that deck. So I always say just jump in the Discord, ask for help, and we will guide you through the whole process. There's a very live trading channel in the Discord as well. So I always encourage people to give a shout out there if they need something. So if they're looking for sets of forces or intel or whatever, just put it there with your WAX address, and there will be a lot of people who will try and see if they can trade you to get what you need to be able to play. So yeah, being active in the Discord is a really good and helpful way to get your deck going. Also, we do deck building tutorials. Some of the streamers have made videos, and there's like PDF infographics made by Kokoi, who I think is also in this Discord. So there are a lot of ways to get that information, but yeah, we are always happy to help and walk people through it. So after the deck building experience, you will be able to jump right in and play some Blitz. So that's the fun part, I think.
I feel like I'm on a spy mission. You're using all these alternate names for people that we know as different. You know, they have, our moderators have monikers that are from the cards in our game, and so Kakoi and Dani have different names in the Discord. So yeah, I feel like we're like on a mission using spy names here. I did share the video, the link to our hype video. It's the one we made for the Kickstarter, so it's not exactly it's not the original one we made way back when we launched the NFTs, but you can see the hype video if you want to see some of just a 30-second clip of what we do, what the cards look like, and some of the production value we have on our team. The good news is, like Dani said, the deck building can be a little bit of a challenge, but there's always people to help out. We did just hire another developer just about a week and a half ago, and she's already cranked out a lot of work on the deck building process. So we're trying to streamline that just with RFOX, just like with RFOX and KOGs, everything else. We need to get people from outside of WAX, outside of the blockchain, to come in and to engage and to adopt it. And so we're really trying to make the process as easy as possible. And so we've got deck building very high on our list, where we want to make it, we want to streamline it, the process now, and make it easier. But we also want to make a button so you can come in, if you have the card you need, you click the button, and it'll auto build a deck for you. It'll say, you'll say make a deck for me. It may ask you a few questions about what type of deck, and then bam, you're done. So that's what we're moving toward with onboarding deck building with every other part of the game. And so whether you want to play the game, a lot of people, like with KOGs, just want to come in, collect a few, make a tube, and just sit on it and collect the rewards as they come out. That's also an option. And for people like that, you're going to want to get more of the premium cards and the elite and the premium packs. If you just want cards so you can build a deck and play the game, boosters are great. It's 18 NFTs. It's around $5 is where, depending on what WAX is doing that day, it's right around $5. So you definitely have options for those who want to play versus those who just want to collect. And Adelar loves boosters, as you can see in the chat. That's all he collects, pretty much.
Okay, I can imagine that. We actually have a question. Any online tournaments planned or currently or are currently running at the moment?
We always have something in the works. We just finished up a big standard tournament. So the game is not playable on our site with our system, but it is playable on Tabletopia. If you know the rules, then you can go on and play with anyone in the world with some pre-built decks. And we just finished a standard tournament. Sevi ended up winning that. I don't know if he's around here. But before that, we had run a couple of Blitz tournaments, and those were done on our site. So they were played on our system. You just matched up, found the person you were supposed to play against, matched up. We have a couple in the works. The next one they're putting together is a Blitz tournament. They're also planning on building another standard tournament that'll come. I think there's been talk of doing one for brand new people only, where the referees will actually go in with people and walk them through the game, and so explain, okay, now you have to draw 8 cards, okay, now you have to roll the dice, okay, you played that card, here's, the mechanics of how it goes. So people who are interested in learning the game can actually play and learn during the tournament, which I think is a really brilliant idea. I did see a question in the chat earlier about how many cards to build a deck. It's 65 cards, and both for Blitz and for Standard, you need 1 leader, 4 territories, and then 60 cards in your arsenal, and the arsenal is the draw deck. For Blitz, what you're going to want in your arsenal is 15 sets of the same 4 cards. And so the purpose of Blitz is to match cards in your hand, so 3 of the same cards. So you're going to want to put 4 of 15 different cards in the deck, if that makes sense. And that way, when you draw, you have a higher chance of matching 3 of the same, so you can play them. And depending on the card you play, it affects your enemy in a different way. If you draw 4 force cards, it knocks out one of their territories or can eliminate the leader if the leader's compromised. If you draw 4, the same 4, and it's a morale card, then it hits their morale and knocks their morale down by 6. So depending on what strategy you want to do, weather cards give you extra turns. Intel cards make them discard cards from their draw pile, and so you can mill their deck down so they don't have anything to draw. So there's different strategies to it. But for a really fun, easy to learn game, there's just the right amount of strategy, I think, in Blitz. There's a lot of luck in it, depending on what cards you draw, obviously. It's not as strategy-based as Warsaken Standard, but it does have just enough, I think, for what the game is and what we developed it to be. And then I see another question. Is there a collab coming? We sat down over a year ago, actually, with the KOGs team and talked about doing a collab, talked about working together. We got along really well. We didn't pull anything off yet, but we are close to the team. We have a good relationship. A lot of people on both sides would love to see that. We're both so focused on getting our product to a minimal viable product at this point and getting the basics done that it's not happening anytime soon, but there are a lot of people who would love to see it. I know a lot of people in the chat, especially at some point soon.
Yeah, we get a lot of KOGs designs with Warsaken. We've had this for a couple of months now, so one step at a time. But yeah, it's really nice to see the communities merge in this way.
Yeah, it really is. So Madame also says maybe you could set up games like poker tournaments in a vault shop or apartment. We love the idea of having places to go on the team or on the web, on the metaverse to play, to hang out. And so, yeah, the idea of having a place in the vault sounds awesome.
For sure. And I think some of you guys know as well, we did do some giveaways the Warsaken community. So we're really looking forward to having more people in the vault. If anyone wants access, I'm going to just say it right here. You can always DM me and we'll get the onboarding process up and running for you guys to test it out. We usually do have community events in the vault, and it could be a new place for us all to kind of hang out, chill, and figure what is the next steps of any collab that we might have. In terms of other things, Coleman, could you tell us a little bit about the lore? Because I do understand that you guys built a pretty solid lore around the whole concept of the game and everything. Perhaps you could share a little bit about that part of it, because yeah, I mean, everybody loves a good story behind a game and a brand and everything.
Absolutely. And I'll try not to go on about this for too long because I am a huge lore guy. That's how I got involved with the team, as I mentioned. The world of Warsaken is built in a world similar to Earth, and it's a different, faraway place, faraway time, but it's very similar to Earth with similar technology, maybe slightly advanced. But the resources in the world are starting to run out. So you have these factions developing all over the world. Some are nations, some are just groups of people, nations that have fallen maybe and have come together. But these 14 leaders have emerged as very charismatic, very powerful people, and they put together these nations that are warring over these resources. And so each of the leaders has their own personalities, which coincides very strongly with the personality of the territory itself. And some of the leaders, for example, Roman Volkov was the leader of one of the territories of Trionvice, and he got ousted and exiled, and so now he's developing his own tech and his own prototypes and everything with, revenge on his mind, whereas Trionvice, the leader of Trionvice, is kind of an enemy. So we have these automatic enemies. We have other parts of the world where there's other types of natural enemies. There's some people pulling the strings of all of the leaders at the same time. I will share a link here in the chat with the story, a link to the story so people can dive in. You can read backstories. All 14 of our leaders have developed backstories that you can read. And then some of the other details we have. So that link that I posted will take you right to the leaders, which is the best place to kind of see where they all come from, what they all want, and how their territories run, basically. So like I said, we just finished set 2 developing it. We hope to put it on sale in June is our target date for digital cards. We have the lore planned out 2 or 3 sets down the road. Like we're already talking about where some of the leaders go in sets 3 and 4, or sometimes as far as 5. Some of them don't make it that far. Some of them fall and another one will rise. So we actually have some plans for some people to take over the territory of another leader where they're at right now. And so really it all does revolve around each specific leader and their personality. Some of them are really into WMD, some of them are into tech and drones and all that. Some of them are into we have ninjas, all that stuff. So whatever your play style is, you can kind of jump in and get really involved, not just in the game itself, but also in the backstory behind it.
There you go. I see some people asking as well in terms of sets. If, say, they missed out this round for the Kickstarter, where can they kind of source it, or do they have to bid for it in the Discord, or how does that work? Where can they find a physical set?
It's best at this point, if you missed out, just to wait until we have them on retail. Again, if you're in the United States, it'll be relatively easy. Outside the United States, we may have to box up a bundle of them and ship them to someone in your country to distribute from there. We've talked about different options. The good news is it feels like we have someone in the Legion from every country. And so I think it will be doable. It's not going to be easy, but until June, we won't really have any options on that. For the digital, we actually do have packs available. We have plenty of boosters. We made a lot of booster packs on purpose so that we wouldn't run out, so we'd have plenty for anyone who wanted to jump in and get into the game. So we still have about half of our launch boosters left. Like I said, those are $4.99 USD, approximately. They're 62 wax. The elite packs are actually running out. We have less than 2,000. We started with 30,000, and so we're down to about 6%, give or take, of those. And then premium packs, we're down to less than half of our premium packs as well, and those have only premium cards in it. And so to claim Loot Daily, you need at least 1 premium card, and if you want to rank up, then you need 5 premium cards, and those can be as simple as the 1 in 1,000 foil primes, which you can get pretty cheap on the market. So if you just need a couple of premiums to get you up in the ranks to claim more loot, they're pretty easy to come by. But yeah, unfortunately for the physical cards, nobody's going to see them until at least summertime, and people who weren't in the Kickstarter will have to see it at that point. where we have them available, and how we're able to get them around the world.
There you go. So yeah, I'm asking because personally, I collect cards pretty much. I think Pete knows my addictions for that. I've always had a thing for Magic the Gathering, so this looks like something physical that I might want to pick up as well. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. If you like that kind of card, and the coolest thing is when you hold the Warsaken cards in your hand and they're all foil, is just such a cool. Every one you pick up, you're like, oh, look at this one. Ooh, look at this one. It's so.
It never ends, right? Once you crack one open, it just never ends, and you just want to, okay, where do I get my next fix? And that's just how it is. And yeah, Pete has already said he's going to be distributor for Malaysia, so yeah, he's going to fuel that addiction.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right, so we actually have another question as well. Will Warsaken develop a mobile app to play the game?
Absolutely. We built, so our dev team, I talk about the Legion every time I go in and do an event, I talk about how much we love the Legion and how great our mods are. I really should be talking about our dev team, because they built, and I'm not a developer myself, so what they do is like magic. It's like sorcery to me. But the way they built it, if you go to warsaken.cards, you can see your whole collection. You can find our store. You can build decks. That's where you play. That's where you claim loot. They built it as an app. So basically, it's ready to roll out. It's when we are ready to roll it out, it's going to be as simple as like clicking a button. They built it as whether you go online and play, whether you're on a mobile phone, playing a game, collecting, doing everything is the same. So there will definitely be mobile capabilities, and I expect eventually mobile will be the main way people interact with us. Find us and not even ever go to the computer, just be on their mobile, playing, collecting, trading, upgrading. That's another thing we haven't talked about is we have options where you can if you have lower rank cards, you can combine them, upgrade them, and get a lot more XP. So if you're trying to rank up and get more loot every day, and you've got a bunch of stacks of different cards, you can combine those and get a lot more XP for them to rank up. So yeah, all of that will definitely be done on mobile and especially gameplay. Like we're focused around gameplay, so that's the main thing we want to make sure is a good experience, and we definitely will do mobile as soon as we can.
There you go. So are there anything that the community should be on the lookout for? Because we're all kind of going to wrap up one. So is there anything you want to share that's happened in the first Q1 of this year and what they should look forward to in Q2 or Q3 of 2023?
We do have, I know this isn't exactly what you asked, but we do have some giveaways to do this morning, so definitely want to watch for that over the next 15, 20 minutes or so. I'm not sure the best way to do those, but we do have some things to give away. The number one thing to look forward to, we are, like I said, we're updating the Blitz beta, so if you have a deck or you have played, or even if you haven't and you've been thinking about it, there's going to be some improvements to the game. And it's some of the things are little, like, there's a bar that hovers in front of some of the cards you want to see while you're making decisions during gameplay. Other things like deck building are going to be improved significantly. We do have some changes coming to our tokenomics. We want it to be easier for people who are wanting to just come in and whale in, for lack of a better phrase, people who just want to come in and have a bunch of cards, maybe not play, maybe not build decks, but want to get involved. So we have some options there. Always watching out for the people who are already in. So we're not going to take away anything from people's sets and collections people already have. Give new people who just want to come in with that goal in mind an option to do that and get involved. I don't have a lot of details on that. We are having our own AMA on the 1st of March, and we'll be announcing some changes, so some things will come there. I'm trying to figure out what else I can tease. Oh, the big thing that we have coming up in the next month or two, the next couple months, is wheel spins. So right now with loot, you can buy loot packs and you can buy platinum loot packs. And those have only premium cards in them. They have some of our best. They have owner and tenant cards, which can claim massive amounts of loot daily just for holding the cards. You don't need any other requirements, any other cards. But the wheel spins will have items you can use in game. They'll have music soundtracks. They'll have titles you can put on your avatar. They will have game effects. They will have card sleeves, play mats. So all of those you'll be able to get in decks. We'll have some special cards that you can't get anywhere else, and some of them will be extremely high-ranked blood foil 1-of-1 level. So 1-of-1 cards, like the F.U.R.G.S of the set, basically, but possibly even more rare because there's only one for each leader in the game, and those are going to be available on wheel spins as well. So that'll give people more options, and there's going to be a huge delta between rolling and getting, maybe a common item versus one of those, but it'll have super epic prizes on the wheel that you can so with one wheel spin you could walk away with one of the biggest cards in the game. So we're excited about that, and for people to have options with their loot, whether they want to buy packs, whether they want to get in and take their chances with the wheel.
Also, maybe we can point out that for set 2 there will be different loot packs.
Yes,
it will be different than the ones
yeah, go ahead.
Now.
So right now we have loot packs.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, we keep stepping on each other. It's nice to be able to hang out with people worldwide, but there is that 1 second delay does cause issues sometimes. I'm not sure. We haven't released everything to the Legion yet on the new loot packs, but we have loot packs and platinum loot packs now. One is 50,000 loot, one is 150,000 loot. With set 2, it'll be one pack that you can buy that'll, rather than having to make the choice or decide which one you want to spend your loot on this month, it'll be loot packs or wheel spins is what you can redeem loot for. Yeah, speaking of F.U.R.G.S, I don't have any F.U.R.G.s. I've cracked hundreds of KOGs packs, have not been lucky enough to get one of those yet. And I know hundreds is small potatoes for a lot of people, but it was awesome to see last week the event, the redemption event for apartments, and those from the Legion may not have all the details on it, but you collect KOGs, you put them in sets called tubes, and then they've had different types of rewards periods for tubes, staking it for RFOX, staking it for other crafting materials, and the one they did last week was an event where you could redeem those for the apartments in the vault, and the vault is the big metaverse that RFOX is building. And there were some hiccups the first day. It was working, but not 100%, so they put it on pause. Came back the next day, and everything was just butter. It was just super smooth. Everybody got in. The timing and the amount they allocated seemed to be just right because everybody had time to redeem what they wanted to, but it wasn't a mad rush. Like, it took almost an hour for everything to redeem, so everybody who wanted to had a chance. So it was awesome to see this huge, that's just one piece of what the Vault and what RFOX is doing. So shout out to the team and everybody who pulled that off, because it was really good experience from the user standpoint once the initial bugs got worked out.
Yeah, that was all P, man. Like, that whole smooth process that everybody went through is all P and his team. They did a fantastic job for that. Any questions from the community in regards to Warsaken? You guys can just type it in on the chat and we'll ask it out. In terms of what other giveaways that we're giving today, of course, there will be some giveaways from Coleman, but a gentle reminder is that we will also be going to the Warsaken Discord channel hopefully next week, and Ben will be giving away some stuff to their community as well. We do love when we cross collaborate, and I think it's been a very interesting way that we got introduced, because I recall my first introduction was actually Renee. I'm not sure if Renee is in this call, but he was just, you have to go check them out. They're an amazing group of people. They're super friendly, super nice, and they are. So I do recommend it, whoever hasn't dropped by to the Warsaken Discord channel, go ahead and go there. They're super helpful. I had a problem with with some buying purchases because I'm such a noob at times, and they were so nice to help me out with that. So yeah.
Yeah, I see Adelaire did say how much are the new loot packs. We are still working out the tokenomics. Between now and then, we are going to have some changes to loot, and so I can't really give you a number. They will be between what a loot pack and a platinum loot pack are right now. So somewhere in that range between 50 and 150,000 equivalent to today's money. How's that for a cryptic answer?
He's gonna go math about it and like probably like have some calculation by the end of the night.
We can do some giveaways if you want while people are coming up with
Sure.
more questions.
I actually have a wheel ready if you guys want. There's about 40 of
awesome.
us right now in this chat. So I'm just gonna stream if you want to do a giveaway. Maybe you can kind of tell everybody what's up for grabs today, and I'll just stream. I'll stream the wheel randomizer. Yeah.
So we have a promo card, which is a high level. It's not an RFOX 2020, but it is. We have a black camo version, and we did one of these for each of our cards. It's minted to 50, which is pretty dang low on in our world. But these are infinite versions of leaders, and so we have 4 ranks. These are basically rank 5. So we took a rank 4 and we kind of cranked them up. So I've got 2. I've got a black camo leader and a black camo infinite version. And an infinite version is a special. There's an example of a black camo right there. It's not animated, but yeah, Danny's got a couple of them up. And so with these, you can do some huge premium upgrades. They give you huge XP for if you're claiming loot. They're really cool to use in the game because they give you slight game advantages. You can only have one of the G-Force types, which is the tank that she posted there, in your deck in a game because they do give you an advantage. For Blitz, it doesn't give you an advantage, but for Standard, it's going to be an advantage. So I've got 2 of those black camos, and then I've got 10 booster packs. I'd love if there's someone in the chat who has wanted to get into Warsaken but hasn't been able to snag a deck. I'd love to give away a whole deck to someone who doesn't have one. If we can narrow it down and find someone like that. I'm not sure if that's possible or not.
That's me. I want one of those.
Who was that?
Hey, you gotta type in chat. You can't talk. That's cheating.
all right. To be fair, everybody, because I realized that I suddenly jumped into the whole chat. I'm gonna go check the bot and see whether we've got some new names, just in case. I don't want to miss everyone out.
Hey.
Just 1 second.
RFOX staff is eligible on this one, yeah?
You always ask that question.
Yeah, well, we're not Warsaken, so.
Yeah, all right.
Does Warsaken have any tiny leaders for Phil?
Please.
Oh my god.
I believe Citizen Zero of the Vault should represent in Warsaken.
Oh,
I
God.
will make one.
All right, so we actually have 48 people now. It was 40 like a couple of minutes ago. I guess everybody had a dinner. I'm gonna change all this. I'm gonna just delete that. Bam, 48 people.
Wait, Adelar's giving away a gold card? Is that what I think I just saw?
Oh my god, Adelaire.
Those are minted to 24. Those are some epic cards.
Okay, so basically, you guys are giving away 12, correct?
Yes.
10 booster packs and 2 cards? Yep. Okay. Adelaire wants to add on another 3. Is that correct, Adelaire?
And we have some couple of first wave upgrade cards. We can add to the wheel.
Wow, that's a lot of giveaways for tonight, guys. Okay, let's draw the first 12 first before we get more details on the other giveaways. Just so we don't get confused. Is that all right with you, Coleman?
Great. Let's do the 10 boosters and then the 2 black camos. How about that?
Alrighty, so we'll do the first 10 boosters. I'm going to just shuffle this. I'm going to shuffle this like 3 times so it's fair for everybody. May the odds be in your favor, guys. 1, 2, 3. All right. There you go. We're drawing your first 10 booster packs for everyone who's joined in. Ooh, there we go.
Oh, thanks the Lord that moved to the next name.
So much competition when it comes to drawing names in this group.
Hey,
I want everybody to win except that one person.
Do winners get eliminated from the
wheel?
Oh, I wanted to check.
You asked.
They do now.
Yes, they do now.
Oh, man.
You asked, dude.
Hey, Phil, you win my book of how I found the first 25 COGs.
Oh my god.
And, give me your mailing address and I'll get that right over to you.
Yeah, I have the same
I muted him for now.
For those of you with your bingo cards out, you can check off the first 25 COG mention. There's always you always know you're going to hear about Tiny 3rd Edition. You're always going to hear about the first 25 COGs anytime you come and hang out in the RFOX chat. Love it.
That was literally my first onboarding on Discord was the first 25. So
let's do 12 and then let's put everybody back in. What do you think?
I don't know. I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah,
So we
that
have.
sounds good.
Yeah, so Phil's feeling lucky tonight. I can tell he's like, yeah.
Actually, let's put everybody back in for I'll give away. It sounds like there's some interest in the deck, so I'll give away. Decimo actually offered to give one away. I've got a couple, so I'll just do that instead of him and me giving each one. I'll just give away 2 decks. So let's all the drawings for the ones that I have, for the 3 that Outlier offered, and then the ones that Danny has, and then we'll put everybody back in for the decks. But only people who don't have one already are eligible for that one. You want to onboard?
I smell an addiction coming.
Yeah, you can smell it. I already know I'm supposed to give my debit card to Pete because he's going to be like some dealer already. All right, one
I'm
last.
gonna have to get Terry Crews printed on my card.
All right, one last person for the booster packs.
No,
Right.
he was so close.
Benny won something for the first time.
Cheats.
Nice. Congratulations, Benny.
I think that's the first time I've seen Ben win a wheel. I'm not sure about you, Gecko, but first for me. All right, so these are the first 10. I'm just going to take this right now. I'm just going to copy this real quick.
Pretty bloody exciting, isn't it?
Is that
It
first
is,
right
yeah.
here?
We're getting people warmed up for the RFOX AMA.
I've never
I'm
won
Benny's
anything.
personal wallet curator, so you can just send that to me so I can make sure he gets it.
Oh my
I
god.
have never won anything.
Exactly. I was like really surprised at that. Okay, so we're putting them back all in, right, Coleman?
No, let's draw all the prizes and just put them back in for the decks.
All right. So yeah, I drew all the prizes. Oh, so just now. Okay, the last 2.
Yeah, the last 2. And then Outlier has 3, and Danny has 3 as well.
Right? Yeah.
So Flavia gets one of the black camos.
Yes, correct.
That's...
Oh my god, Gecko, is that?
Oh,
This is rigged.
All right, Adelaide can't receive it since he's giving it, so that should go to the previous name.
No, this one he definitely can. He's going to use this for upgrades, I bet. This is one he probably actually is happy to win.
Did I tell you how much I hate you, Adelaide?
Hey.
What did I win?
how's he
You won a
in there
black camo,
twice?
my friend.
What did I win?
You won a black camo Infinite or G-Force.
Fuck yeah,
leader.
I don't own a single one of them.
Did you?
Awesome.
You say he doesn't want a single one?
I don't own a
doesn't
single
own
one.
one.
Shut up, you.
Oh,
No, yep, I'll take that. Thank you very much.
all right. So,
So-
You realize you edged me out to get that, Adelaide, you whale.
Uh-huh.
I was like looking at. I was really looking at Gecko's name. Like, oh, is he going to win that one?
He's
So
also
which one
hedging
is
you.
it?
Yeah,
Coleman.
that was a loincloth tease right there.
Right. Okay. I'm just
So
gonna.
now
I'm
we're
gonna.
doing-
Yeah, I'm gonna be fair to everyone who just jumped in as well. You guys may have missed that first drawer of the booster packs and other stuff. So I'm just going to draw everybody's name again from our bots. 1 second. Oh, there's 49 people now. Huge number now.
I think I just saw that last one you spun. I think that was for a gold from Adelaire, gold card that he put up. And so I think easily killed that one, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right. There we go. Second. Let me just resort this out. Take this guy out. So now it's a fresh list. I'm just gonna I'll clear this list, yeah?
Do you have that copied down somewhere else then?
Yep, I do.
Yeah,
Don't worry about that.
perfect.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna fresh list. This is basically the list of people that are right now currently in our voice chat. So I'm gonna
Excellent.
shuffle it again.
Perfect.
So, Coleman, are you aware of any of these guys who already have decks? Can we disqualify them?
Yeah, and you know what? The ones that are from Warsaken, I'm pretty sure they all have. Like, there's a handful of names of people who are from there already, and I think we can jump in and see their account anyway and verify that they don't have a bunch of Warsaken cards. But I think it's going to be mostly honor system.
All right, so how many are we drawing this round?
We've got 2 more gold cards that Adelaire is giving away. And then 3 first wave upgrade cards from Dani. And while you're spinning, I'll talk about the first wave upgrade cards. So we have some very simple upgrades you can do. If you have 5 base cards, then you combine those to get a F.U.R.G.S version. If you include one of these special upgrade cards, it ramps up the XP by like a 5,000 X. And so these first wave cards can really get you up in XP, which will give you more daily loot. And so that's what the first wave cards, first wave upgrade cards are good for.
All right, so these guys were in gold. Just to put this in my list. All right, now we're going for the upgrade cards.
Yeah, and Dani's bringing some upgrade cards to the table, and so that's what the next 3 will get.
Why is Adelaire always getting?
Come on.
Is this
How?
Redraw.
Seriously, did I win again?
Yeah, I don't know what's
Nah,
up.
I don't want them. That's
All right, I'll take you out from here. All right, I'm gonna take you.
Yeah,
out.
get rid of me. Fuck's sake! I never win at like I don't already have 10 of.
Well, we had Ben win today, so that was interesting. So that could be the luck that's being passed around.
Yeah, maybe it's our time, Benny.
Come on, Gecko, say it. Say the chant.
Come on, Gecko.
Flappy, flappy, flappy.
So wrong. So wrong. Ooh.
Well, Dani cannot win the prize that she brought to the table.
No, re-roll this one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna remove this one. I'm gonna re-roll this.
That means
Gecko,
Phil
Gecko,
should know one
Gecko.
either.
Ooh. Close one.
Oh, it's Madame.
Ooh.
Nah, she doesn't need it either.
I know she can. I know she can use it.
You're like speaker on everyone's behalf.
Basically,
Was that
just
for
keep
an upgrade
re-rolling till my
card?
name lands.
Coleman, was that for an upgrade card?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah, I know you can use those.
All right, so
Doesn't.
there's 4 upgrade cards, right? Correct.
We're gonna take Dani out of it because she's the one who's providing the.
So
prizes.
Adelaire is out, Dani is out. So it's 1, 2, 3, then 1 more person, and then we're good for the upgrade cards. All right.
I think we had 3 upgrade cards, so I think we got them all, didn't we?
All right, then perfect. Yep, we have
But
Madame.
there's one more.
Riddle, right?
Did we want to
Yeah.
give away them 2 bundles of loot cards I have?
Gosh.
Do you
So
feel like transferring them?
No.
Let's
you.
save
People
that
can
for the
replace.
next. Let's save that for
Yeah.
the next round of Discord takeover when we head over to the Warsaken Discord group. How about that?
Yeah. Nah, they'll be gone by
Can
then.
we do one more wheel spin because Decimo has a actual murdered out card. These are rare and can only come from merch codes that he wants to give away. So can we do one more spin here?
Sure. Murdered out cards. Okay, I'm just gonna put that in my list.
Yeah.
All right.
Flappy, flappy, flappy.
This is a really cool card. These are minted to 100 and they're hard to get because they only come from certain
Alrighty.
codes.
Everyone feeling the last 42? Are you guys feeling lucky? So I'm just gonna spin this. Only one guy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All
I
right.
feel like the names on black are unlucky because all the shades of red seem to win.
That's because you're just there. That's why.
This murdered
I
out
think
card
Smoke
is like
Through. I think Smoke Through is
variations of
also trying to give one away.
You said black
Oh.
cards, right? You said black cards, right?
So black cards.
Oh,
what?
Shay always wins. Maybe one of the luckiest people I know.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's crazy.
Exactly.
That
She
is crazy.
It's like, I don't know what she does. I need to know because she always is super lucky at games like this. Congratulations, Shay.
her and
Smoke
F1
was
Rocco.
out, threw one
F1
in the
Rocco
chat
enters all the
also.
shit on Twitter and wins all the time.
Can we do one more of those? Because Smoker Thou is also bringing one to the table, a President
damn.
Ziena murdered out card.
Perfect. Alrighty. So your black space thing has been debunked, Gecko. So hopefully you get this one, eh?
It doesn't
no.
count when the person is super lucky and always wins.
My name changed to a black. No.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
a fish. There we go.
Congrats.
Thank you,
Welcome.
everybody.
One for the
I
Batman.
appreciate it.
Oh my God, the Batman.
I'd like to.
That was such a poor version of it.
That's
I'd like to thank all my friends and family for putting up with me.
Coming live from your bat fan, I assume, holding a bag of candy.
God. That's hilarious, dude. Alrighty, we're done for today. That's a lot of giveaways, Coleman, and thank you so much, guys. That was epic. That was crazy epic. So I'm just gonna stop my stream. And no, it's always awesome to have you guys over. And honestly, if anyone has any questions or they want to jump into the RFOX Vault, the team's always here to help anybody out in getting onboarded. And if you guys want to stay, please do stay because I believe we're going to start our AMA. Ben is already here. I think half the team's already here as well. There we go.
Awesome. I just want to close and give a huge shout out to the RFOX fam. When I got into wax, it was one of the first things I started collecting, and I was just trying to put together a common set and just kind of hustling here and there, and from there, I got up to 850 tubes before we did the Great Burn event last week, and I still have about half of those. So I wouldn't have been able to do it with all the people trading and helping in this community. So one of the early communities I was in. So huge shout out and thanks to the RFOX community. Thanks to the Legion who showed up. Thank you, Chicken Little, for hosting and for the whole RFOX team for building an awesome product. Can't wait to see you guys in our Discord. It'll be Thursday, March 2nd, same bat time, different bat channel. So we'll see you then.
Awesome.
Thanks, Coleman. Thanks, team.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys. It was so great to have you guys over.
Catch you in the trade channels, Coleman.
Copy that.
The defeated sound of trading. Copy that.
Hey,
There's no life
it'll
in it
suck
now
you
that
in.
everybody's now that everybody's lost in trading. There's no.
All that shit's burnt now.
It'll ramp up. Don't worry. The only problem is that the people that are in there, you've traded the living daylights out of their wallets.
Sup, numbnuts?
Sup?
Peter!
It's Madame and fake Madame.
What do you want to know about my frozen meatballs, bro?
What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
How did you start that?
What the hell, man? You don't start an AMA like that.
You hijacked my Facebook post of my wife's beautiful dinner she made me last night.
Oh Lord. Frozen meatballs. Okay. It's a start. We have a lot of new
That's what she
Warsaken community members in our AMA today.
Welcome. Thank you for coming across. It was good to hear about the project, and hopefully there's a couple of people who'll look into it from this side as well, which would be great. And then we'll be obviously returning the favour and going across and doing some drops over there. All right, where do we want to start? We've actually got Luke and Co here in Vietnam, so give him a couple of minutes to join. Do you want to give an update, Pete, on what's been going on in the wonderful world of technology while we're waiting?
Wonderful world of technology. I mean, like degen technology or just normal technology?
I don't know, anything you might be tinkering around with and working on in the workshop?
Nothing much that I can share that I'm tinkering around with without, you killing me. And I'm almost in the same room as you are, so I won't share that.
All right, well, we'll let you off. We'll say that to Paul.
Yeah, I mean, I can share that we'll be publishing a blog post for KOGs, hopefully by the end of the week. I'm just finishing up the write-up. And that will be on the Grimspiel 2 mechanics.
How many are we burning, Pete?
Yeah, there we go. That's my question.
Oh, yeah, we're burning like a shit ton. Hold on. I remembered a shit ton, but we are burning...
A shit ton is not an official number, mate. We need an official number.
Okay, 343,257.
Nice.
So nearly 10%, nearly.
Yeah. No, I was close. We were shit done.
That's
Does
pretty
that
good.
include RFOX 2020s?
Oh yeah, you gotta
Two.
add 15 because we burned 15 of those.
Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? There's
Hey,
a
will the COGS mechanics, sorry, Benny, will the COGS
Yeah.
mechanics also be saying which editions will be burnt?
No. It's the
Excellent.
mechanics of the set, not the burn.
Fair enough.
and Tubes, Pete, have you given announcements to the guys in relation to when they get their things back?
Oh, it's being sent out right now as we speak. So for those of you who have submitted tubes in a claim that did not get burned, that's flagged not to be burned, you would be receiving it sometime today or tomorrow. We're running the script. It's going to take a while time, but it's going to take a while before all gets sent out because we got to process it line by line. But yeah, I think some of you have already gotten it back.
Awesome.
Adela just said, "My babies have come home."
Yeah, we've got a pretty packed night tonight, and Lala, we're probably going to give a few spoilers away as well. That we'll let you. What about you, Lala? Do you want to give an update from the marketing side? Because I've got stuff that I'm sitting on, and I really want to. I can't wait. I can't wait to unleash it. But I want to get everybody
Yeah,
in first.
the one thing that I'm working on right now that I really want to talk about, I cannot talk about.
Oh my
Everything else,
God.
I guess I can. I can talk
That's
about.
how you leave it?
Yeah, that's how I leave it.
Evil.
Yeah, I think
all
we've got.
right.
Yeah, you go. Give us your update, Lala.
Sure. So I'm sure everybody knows how we kind of ramped up for the whole sales and everything. So we are still continuing that momentum. We are going to be doing a few trader spaces, community events. I'm going to be posting up tonight, so you guys keep an eye out for that. We have one coming this week, another next week. I'm going to give some mystery, but you guys can kind of guess who might be on board for that. We will also be having a community vault gathering, same time as the last time that we had it with the team. It will be on Friday. So we have a few new community members get access. They've been really, really kind in telling us and giving a lot of feedback of what they felt about the vault, and it's been positive. So we may be doing a contest in Vault. I'll share the details nearing that event as well. So for those who still do not have access, just DM me and I'll give you keys to the kingdom. Yep, that's pretty much me for tonight.
Awesome. Thank you very much. What about you, Phil? You got some updates?
Yeah. So right now, the latest update to Quest has been pushed to all of the MVP community testers. And tonight, as soon as we get approval, after the review is done for Google, we will launch it to public. So that means we will resume the leaderboards tomorrow, and that will run for another week. And at the end of that will be the prize is another free citizen. And then I don't know if Luke wants me. Is Luke coming on? Because we spoke about doing a sneak peek of the Slam.
Don't say the name. No.
Whoops. Redesign. Does he want me to do that, or should we wait for him?
I don't know, Phil. If you answer that question for yourself and decide to go whichever way you go, then I can't get in trouble, can I? Only you can.
I'll be the voice of the community and just say hell yes.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. So I'm gonna share screen.
Whoops.
So what I'm gonna show you is the blockout of the map, and then some of the texturing they've started to do. Okay, can you guys see that?
You're looking at
It
a
looks like
wall.
it's good to go.
Okay, cool. So this is the blockout of the environment for Slam. What you're looking at here is where you'll be able to view your collection in your binder, and we've decided to replace the vending machine with a small hobby shop. Now, where you guys used to be playing here in the middle of this alleyway, will now be more of an information thing, and then this will be new play area.
Just looking at that, will I get to push my opponent in front of a vehicle going past if I win?
Well, fortunately, we blocked off the exits for that kind of behavior.
Shenanigans.
So this has just been blocked out, and now they are working on the actual graphics and texturing.
Just for those
Is that
who
a safe
don't know,
place?
what blockouts mean is that's not the actual model. It's where they literally just put a block there and say that we'll put something in that spot, and so it's just an idea. That's not their models that'll be used.
And just so you can see some of the texturing they've already accomplished. So this is where the where you will start your boss matches. This is the alleyway, and where it says daily missions, that'll all be they have all this graffiti. So it's not going to have this little awning or anything. It's just going to be graffiti on the wall, which is going to be
Can
cool.
anyone else see anything?
It says
Stream seems
stream
paused for me.
pause. Yeah, stream.
Ah, sorry.
Stream
Let me
pause
let me
has
restart this.
Has minimized their application. Sit tight. That's why.
Okay.
We're experiencing technical difficulties right now. We'll be right back.
How's that?
Hey everyone, sorry I sneezed on the time a little bit.
Hey Luke, I broke
Luke,
the
who
seal, man.
finally showed up.
Lame.
I deserve that.
I'm showing them
I did it
a
just to punish you.
bit of the
Luke,
Slam environment.
I might have to have talk with you about the first 25 just because of your being late.
Someone needs to mute him now.
I'm not sure how that's relevant, but sure, let's do that.
Can you guys see this now?
Yes.
Yep. We can see it.
Okay. So here's the texturing. They added some new objects. So you can see on the building they've started putting details on it. Yeah, so that's it for the redesign, and then we will start trying to integrate it, which will take another few weeks.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Phil.
Luke, do you want to give an update on product side?
Yeah, so Slam's coming along well. So yeah, I mean that's pretty exciting. What we're working on at the moment is the same thing we've been working on for the last few AMAs, which is getting this thing ready for the open beta. I mean, Slam is a good example of how we're doing that. We need to obviously have experiences in there and give people a reason to come back. So we're really focusing on getting as much of that stuff done and polished as we can. There's some fear updates that are happening as well, just so that's really smooth. We're adding in-game voice, fixing a few little things like there's no exit in the walkthrough, the Explore the Castle mode at the moment, so we're adding that in. Just little things like that, so that experience is smooth. We're working on a lot of UI changes, which are just mostly tweaks. Things like improving the lobby, improving the tutorial screens. We're working on independent logins that are not reliant on the portal. So being able to do in-game avatar creation and basically onboard yourself from the App Store without having to go outside of the app. We think that's really important. We don't really want people to have to leave. Other than ongoing stuff. So when the portal becomes a full user portal and like a companion app, we only want people to go there for value add type stuff, very similar to the Xbox companion app. So we're really working on that user journey, that onboarding piece, and also the control and reporting on the back end, which I've mentioned. So it's really exciting to see that some of that stuff land, and we're already putting a dent in our long list of stuff we want to get done before we release. The other one, which I've mentioned a few times, which is a massive focus, is getting the avatar IK and rigging and movement, I guess, smoothed out. We're looking at improving the portals. There's so much stuff. We've got a really long list of things where we're going to try and get done before the open beta lands. And then, we're just talking today about the fact that we can't rest once we've done that. It's not just a matter of sitting down and looking at what we've done. We've got a lot of work to do then from a standpoint of continuing to get creators in, continuing to onboard new users. So part of what we're all doing, the C-levels are all together again in the same room, and we're trying to really focus on that next step. How do we ramp this thing up? What if this is a massive success from day one? How do we continue to onboard these users? How do we make this, really, really robust and scalable for these users? So that's all really exciting stuff. And, as Glenn was saying earlier, you've got to plan for success. It's really important. So that's what we're trying to do. And anything that is in, you might have put in Canny and you don't think it's been pushed up the list enough, or anything that's bugging anyone, now's the time to do it, to raise it again, sorry. Because we are working on fixing these bugs, and there's not a lot of feature stuff going in there. It's really just about making this thing smooth and getting it ready for launch. So if there is something that's bugging you or you really want to get in there, please let us know and we'll do our best to make that happen. On the Quest side, I don't know if Phil already mentioned this, but there's a couple of new updates coming out. We're just waiting for the iOS approval. Did you mention this, Phil?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so Quest you'll have the leaderboard stuff happening as well, and then they're working on rewards, the rewarding of the COGs as well. So there's a lot happening. It's all happening. So the other thing which probably most of you have seen is we made an announcement about RFOX TV, and really I don't think it even warrants too much of a mention, but what we're doing is we're really focusing on getting that baked into the Vault, which we've talked about from the start. All of these things have to be part of the Vault. They have to plug in. So we're really focusing our energy on, rather than focusing on the actual UI web interface, we're focusing on how do we control that content? How do we get it into the Vault? How do we make it really easy to adapt that content and make that journey easy for the creators to get that stuff in, and for shop owners to be able to control content in their shops, and people who want to advertise to be able to control that content on the billboards without having to go through another set of hoops in the UI, which we think it doesn't actually add value to us at the moment. I'm not saying that won't be there later, but it's all about getting this Vault out and making this smooth and consistent and unified. So we're happy to take questions on that if anybody's got any, but I think we've covered this enough over the last sort of year or so. I think that's it for me.
Thank you. Questions before we go on to the next part?
There's one
Oh,
question. I think it's, will the game mechanics...
Well, yes, the game mechanics are the same, except the controls will be different. Obviously, you'll be able to pick up the slammer rather than point and float it around.
It's much more natural in VR, being able to pick it up and throw it, than it does in the 2D, the classic game. So once we have something that we think is ready to share, we'll do that. We'll show you. But at the moment, we've got a really rough APK that's probably not in a position to be shared.
Will the RFOX TV eventually become the YouTube killer it was supposed to be, like Lala? Okay, so the thing with that is that the applications that we built and we have built have had to be standalone until we've got the Vault finalized, right? So that's the platform that everything plugs into. So a lot of the things that we have, when we plug them into the Vault, they will be different. So for example, if you wanted to go to an NFT minting site in the normal environments you see now, you'd go onto a site and you'd mint and all the rest of it. Whereas if you're trying to combine everything in a metaverse, then all of the things that we build would be available within the application, right? Within that metaverse space. So as we've said before, with streaming and e-commerce streaming and all the rest of it, you'll see that will happen inside of the metaverse and then be beamed out. So that will definitely take a different shape than the current form. And I think that metaverses will force a lot of these things that we're used to seeing as standalones have to change, adapt, or click in. I don't know if you want to add anything on that, Luke, as far as morphing into the platform is concerned.
We're not. What we're doing right now, obviously, as we've said, probably too many times, is we're trying to make sure that everything we do is focused on the Vault and the success of the Vault. At the moment, the UI is a distraction, and it's actually that the whole content loading and UI for the the onboarding of those creators at the moment, we think is too difficult and is actually just, if anything, it's going to slow people down. What we want to do is create a really quick path to onboard and get that content into the Vault through the portal. If that UI we think is complementary at a later stage, we're certainly not ruling out adding that back in, and we're parking that. It's not like we're throwing any code away or anything, but much like the NFT marketplace, it just doesn't get us to where we need to go in the very short term. And it's actually a distraction at the moment, and we think it's a distraction for end users and creators at this point. So it's all about streamlining and getting to that goal as quickly as possible. If there's demand, I guess, for it, or we think that onboard, that path to actually get that content in and display that content is not working in the Vault, or we can just turn it back on again. It's actually, there's no risk at all in the strategy we've taken here.
You drunkenly bought some ETH artwork for way too much the other night. When can I expect to be able to display it in one of my Sky apartments? One of your Sky apartments, eh? That's it's on its way. As far as we're going to go through the reveal processes, and I'm sure we've got to go through the reveal process of the chests revealing themselves to which quarter you are from, and then the type of apartment. We've also got to go through the same process with the citizens as well, the standard citizens, to see what quarters and stuff you're from. So it's not too long now. What I will do though is I'm busting. We did promise that we would talk to you about another vote. Is everyone keeping across the voting for citizens? Because it's up tomorrow, right? Due for decision making tomorrow. We did get asked about the numbers of how we decided the numbers. I was also talking to Red Pill about that earlier. It looks like we got what we did was we looked at data on how many people or how many different communities that offered voting systems, what they got in there first, how many of them set a really, really high target and weren't able to achieve it. So really pleasing to see the numbers that we've gotten so far for the voting. So thank you for all of those who voted. Number 3 still winning, is it? When I checked earlier, I think it was 1.6 thousand to 1.7 thousand. It was pretty close.
Yeah, it's still pretty close. I'm just going to share a screen.
There you go, DGen. DGen Zen. Speaking of DGen, you're a good bridge to my next conversation or next piece. There you go, 50.3 and 47.43, pretty close. I may or may not be working on some ideas for the Vault that may or may not be adult related and may or may not be. There you go, I got cut off. Showcase a premium haptics. You got come on. Dark Alley. There you go. We've haven't even got fully underway, and we've already got to that sort of degradation levels. Speaking of DGen and going into the next little piece, I'll give you a brief run through. We've sort of got to be careful how much we give you now because you're going to get a vote in a few days. So make sure that you don't disappear. Go up to the River House for the weekend or whatever. There will be a voting system that follows on from the current vote that is open, as I say, for the citizens. It will more than likely be Friday. We'll get back to you and let you know exact timeframes. The reason that we're saying it is more than likely going to be Friday is due to the fact that we want to wait for the apartments to be distributed for KOGs holders, and therefore you would be eligible to vote. For those of you who don't know how the voting system works, it'll be somewhere around the realms of 2 for an OG, 1 for an apartment and 1 for a citizen. And hang on, let me just answer this. Will votes typically last a week? More than likely, but there'll be certain things, XP, that like get voted through very quickly that reach a threshold. So say if it's a yes or no, and if something gets more than 50%, it might, they'll close a lot quicker, of course, but generally speaking, they will be a week, but you guys will decide some of that as well. So here's what, there you go, shop owners, there you go. Thank you, Phil. So shop owners 30, OG citizens 2, apartments currently 1-1, and citizens 1-1 as well. So pretty good. All right, here's what you're going to get to vote on. You'll get to vote on putting through a vote for a community-run shop. It's good for shop owners. When I explain something very briefly, you're all going to want to ask a billion questions, but we'll sort of keep a little bit of that back. We'll give you the alpha. Of course, you're going to get to need to know this in the next few days anyways. But ultimately, one of the things, what's the biggest issue that any metaverse faces at this particular point in time? Any that do exist, what do you think is the biggest issue that they face? People like teaching. Adoption, there you go. And there you go. So if you've been into some of the other metaverses, the numbers are grossly exaggerated as well for a lot of them. But if you go into some of the other metaverses, there isn't a lot of people in there. And adoption is something that's very important. So knowing what you have a penchant for and a taste for, there is a proposal that we'll put forward to you to run a community shop, and it will actually be a Meme DAO. It will be a blueprint that can be used for other communities, other shops, which provides extra value for shop owners, because you'll be able to copy that blueprint, or inevitably this type of a model will be able to be replicated, and this is what's going to help with adoption. So how it will work is it will be a fair launch project. If you decide to vote that through, there'll be elected members from OGs, and we'll explain how that'll work. That will help set that up and run that. That'll be an independent DAO, so it's not an RFOX project. This will be something that we help get off the ground, and you guys will run that. You'll be welcoming approximately 50,000 wallet holders from other communities, and the way that this will work combines elements of a number of different projects that have been very, very successful in the space. And what it will do is allow you guys to build large communities inside of each of the shops, bringing in a ton of people to the vault. But most importantly, it will also mean that each time something like this is implemented, people in the RFOX community will obviously receive some form of reward. Can we have a DAO channel that will save all these vote results for people to use to see where community stands? Red Pill, maybe you can answer that. I don't know. I think maybe you mentioned.
Yeah, I guess we can set up one, and then put all the links to all the snapshots that we've done for all the votes so far, I guess. And
yeah.
Leave it
so
for
what we can do is
I
actually
guess.
on Snapchat you can basically be a member, and then you can get notifications as well, like a member of the RFOX page. And on the RFOX page you will always see all the votes that are ongoing. But yeah, Peter, I don't know if there's a way to set up a bot for Discord or something automated that links it in. That would be an option as well.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of a bot. I was just thinking more of just channel, and then every time we have a vote, we put it there for historical purposes, I guess. But you can always go back to Snapshot. Snapshot shows historical votes from a certain account, and we'll be using our own RFOX account.
Yeah. So this will the idea of this, we did hear you, we did listen to the feedback, we've had a number of suggestions, but we have a proposal for you to vote through. But again, as stated, it's a community inside of a shop, because those shops can be as big or as little as people choose them to be. But for shop owners, there's some really good details coming in the ability for those who don't have an idea of what to run to potentially mirror that model, or potentially sell their shop at a fixed rate to the communities that occupy those shops. So there's lots of different options there. But I think you'll be excited because there's a lot of good degen angles for it, but ultimately it gives you a chance to do what you asked for, which is to run a shop, but also comes with a good model that allows us to be able to welcome in, as I say, 50,000 plus wallet holders from a particular community type, and that will again lead to, and we'll obviously see how that plays out as far as how those models can be improved. But it gives you guys a chance to really sort of get in there, get involved, and we'll be able to bring some life to the vault, very much in line with the exit from MVP at the end of this quarter. So this will happen very quickly if it is voted through. And we also have some more displays and showcases of what can be done inside of shops coming by the end of the quarter to coincide with the release of the creator tools as well. What's really important is two things. You want to make sure that once the creator tools hit the market, that you don't then have a lagging issue with there being 6 months before people have come in, built stuff, launched and released. So that's something that we have been thinking about. So we're trying to make sure that there are other experiences than fear that have been built out and developed, and that shop owners and communities and people that are looking to build and create have a pathway to be able to get up and running as fast as possible. So having the ability to introduce a model, especially that's been run by you guys, that I know you guys would do very, very well at that. And the good part about any type of DAO structure or system is once you actually start getting underway, you can very much shape, mold, or direct that in any way or capacity that you guys vote through. So I think it's a pretty exciting prospect, but the opportunity to have all of those things coincide at the same time with the tools dropping, developers coming in, more experiences, but also a group of eyeballs that we haven't had before that would be here, and then, as I say, a replicatable model. This gives us a huge advantage because even if from the 50,000 people that would initially sort of get involved, even if 5,000 or 6,000, for example, came across and became regularly involved in the vault, that compounds. You've got a few of those types of things launch, and then suddenly you've got more and more eyeballs on the vault. You've got more and more tie-ins and rewards for the people that have been in our ecosystem. And what that actually does is inevitably snowballs to the point where even after one of these types of successful launches means that we would already have the foot traffic and the occupancy of right up there with any of the metaverses in the space and beyond. So it is a very, very good opportunity for us now that we go out of MVP to start really looking at how to get the world populated, but more importantly, having really engaging concepts and experiences to keep people coming back again and again. If any of our OGs are interested in being one of the DAO members, please DM me or Chicken Little, or as I call, what do I call you? Lucky Lala. Yes. So that's what will happen. We'll start off with a vote for some OGs. So what Urban Gecko is actually asking for is people to say, if you are interested in potentially nominating yourself. This is also assuming that gets voted through. So what we'll do, again, stay tuned for Friday because we will post the details of that. We would look at getting that voted through, and as soon as that gets voted through, if it does, we would already have a bank of people that would be interested in getting involved in steering that. And yeah, I think it's a pretty exciting development because it will also flow onto a few other things that, like Pete was hinting at earlier on in the call, he can't talk about, but they're pretty exciting. I want to give a big compliment to the team. Yesterday, I took the Oculus 2 from my work with me to let my nephews and niece take a look at it. They were very enthusiastic and loved it. They played as long as the battery of the Oculus could take. They are 11, 14, and 16. The youth has the future. Thank you, mate. That's awesome feedback. And I think, when Luke came on board, for example, and we started looking at product releases and stuff, he sort of made a comment that was, if I'm in charge of the product, I'll decide when it's ready to ship or to get out there. And the sort of feedback that we got was, we're not seeing enough stuff coming through the pipelines. We're not seeing enough, proof of life. So when Luke came on board and sort of said, all right, we're ready to go with the first iterations, as you know, because a lot of you were around, people said, is that it? Is that the finished product? And it was made very clear this was not supposed to be the finished product. It was supposed to be a beginning, a first iteration that you could get in, have a look around and experience and see the progression. And if any of you have been with us from the time that we sort of put out the first versions to now, it is hugely improved, and it's just going to continue to move at that pace or faster. And the other thing that I got asked a couple of times in interviews during the week was, AI. Everybody's jumped on the bandwagon. Everybody's an AI project, and all the rest of it. We don't profess to be an AI project. We never have professed that. We are a project who has, since our inception in the very, very beginning, back in 2018 and 19, we were talking about using AI as one of the technologies for our project. In 2019, if you remember, we did a partnership with a company called Misfits who do AI chatbots and AI tools. It's always been on the radar, but the thing is, now that we've actually got the MVP out there, we've got that luxurious advantage of being able to start saying, let's plug things in that enhance what we've got. And as you've seen, it's not a matter of saying AI is coming in 2 years and we're looking at putting that into our products and services. This is something that's already there for you guys to be able to play around with. You've seen the results of being able to talk and have things changed, or as you've tried in the website, to type and be able to decorate your apartment spaces. This is all going to move much quicker as we go, and it's an advantage of having the platform there ready to go to market, because now we can move very quickly. We can adapt technologies that we've been working on or developing or working with. So it's an extremely exciting time, and it's great to get positive feedback from people going through, and that's only going to get better and better as we go along. So yeah, anything you want to add with that, Luke?
I think you covered it well, but yeah, I mean the AI stuff. With the only reason we've kind of held that back at the moment from the actual releases of the Vault. So the reason you can't do it in VR at the moment is just because we want to get that UI improved a little bit. But we're going to be sharing that very soon. We want people to have a go at that before, obviously, we go to open beta and give us their feedback. And doing it, obviously, inside of the Vault is very different than doing it on a website. So I'm really, really keen to get people's feedback on that. Red Pill's put a lot of work and thought into it. And as Ben said, the AI just enhances what we've done. It's not about trying to put AI into everything we do. It's about where does it add value? What does it speed up? And the use case that we've used it for is, I think, the best use case, which is creating content on the fly, and not only creating it, but applying it in game within seconds is, one of the best use cases I've seen for, at least for graphical AI and picture generation. It's incredible, and just seeing it happen live is, you've seen it in the videos and everything, but doing it is just, it's really addictive. And I think that ability and to customize your space and show that off to other people is going to be massive.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Yeah, it's a very, very good point. And I think that, I can understand people's skepticism of everyone jumping up and talking about AI, and there's all these AI coins coming up now and all the rest of it. It's definitely a buzzword. I think that the thing is that we've sort of talked about these types of things since the beginning. We talked about metaverse for a long, long time. So every now and then people will assume that you've just tried to jump on some sort of a bandwagon, but we think that we'll be defined by the products that we offer, not necessarily the technologies that support them. It's more about the experience that we can give, which leads into that next question of, because adoption is the biggest problem with the metaverse, how will RFOX ensure the user numbers stay high? And what's considered high to you, Benny, in the Vault? Maybe users on multiple platforms, VR, PC, mobile, PlayStation, VR2, etc. I think for the early stages, it's pretty simple, and that is our job is to provide the most seamless and the best user experience we possibly can. And we've got a few real big, obvious things that we have to address, as far as like getting an account set up and the RFOX ID and all the rest of it, which we're working on very solidly to improve now. So for me, the honest answer to that would be, Artesh, and it probably would piss people off a little bit, is it's much more about what we can accommodate with a good experience. So the guys have been working really, really hard from the scaling perspective, but one of the things that's taken a little bit of time with the citizens, for example, is there's a very, very big pushback on making sure that we don't roll the rigged citizens out until we've got better movement, that the citizens move the way they should move. So we're using a rigging system to make sure that happens a lot more smoothly, and it does the great artwork and the amazing citizens the justice that it deserves. So for us, it's about the experience. We want to make sure that when people do come in there, that they have a great a time. They've got lots of experiences to go through, but also that's visually as appealing as it can be as well. So for me, it's more about making sure that they've all got a great experience when they come in and the product's awesome. But the team have been working really, really hard on making sure that we can scale and accommodate. And Luke, if we asked you, in honest opinion, if we asked you if we turned the floodgates on today, for example, with what we've got planned. I mean, at the end of the quarter, so presume it's the end of this quarter, we go out of MVP. What do you think is a comfortable amount of people that you'd be happy getting in before you would think this could buckle the systems without having had this many people in?
I don't think anything is going to buckle the system. I don't think anything's going to actually, any amount is going to stop it from functioning, because it's elastic and it'll just keep growing. It'll cost us a lot of money at some point, but the bigger question is how many instances are we going to end up creating, and then how do we handle those instances? So at the moment, we've got a maximum scene size of 200. So if, say, you went into an apartment or a shop or whatever, we've limited that at 200 just because it starts to get silly after that point anyway. But then all that would happen is if you're number 201, you just walk into a fresh instance. So nothing's going to fall over. It's extremely scalable. I think the decisions we need to make and the planning we need to do is around what does that look like? What is the best user experience from that standpoint? And how do we make sure that people who want to be together are kept together? So if you've got friends that you've tagged as being, people you want to hang out with, then you should always be in that same instance as them. And it's about directing that traffic to the right place. I've got no concerns about scalability on the whole, across the whole ecosystem. As far as how many users, I think is a good number. I don't know. I think if we could get, even a few thousand in the first couple of months, I think that would be a really good start, and we could start to then use that sort of number to extrapolate out and figure out exactly how those cutovers would work. And more importantly, I think it would give us a really good sample size to figure out, what is popular, what is needed, what is that next the next step, and what should be added and what shouldn't. Just as we've done with the community, we want to get a lot of feedback from these early users, and we want to actually roll that in and sort of have that voting system that we've got in place through Canny. We want to sort of put in those requested items, and unless you've got a big sample size like that, it becomes really difficult. And I think as much as having it out in the community and getting that feedback has been important, obviously there's some I suppose familiarity with the project from the group that we've got at the moment. You guys have been along for the ride, a lot of you from the start, and I think there's some preconceived ideas and notions that we'll probably get some very different feedback when we get general public in there, and that's what I'm most excited about as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like I had an opportunity to do a couple of interviews. Some will be published that have asked some really, really hard questions as well, which is good. Good to have the hard questions asked. And some of the questions that we get asked the most are like, when are your graphics going to be as good as like some of these games that we see are being built on different engines or using different technologies? And I think that it's also an education process to sort of take people through what's available and capable of being built in VR at this particular point in time as well. And that technology is going to progress very, very quickly. But the point I make is that, even though you can access this from mobile and we're trying to make the lowest barriers to entry, what's really important is that, where possible, you want people to go in with a headset. And I know a couple of you guys have actually been with us for a long time and could have gone in much earlier and have waited until you've got a headset. And I think to myself, that's a really, really good decision, from the sense that, you walk in there and you get that overwhelming experience of, wow, look at it, it's an immersive world, and that's what it's supposed to be, right? So it's going to be good to get lots and lots of people, as Luke said, in there and interacting. And I think, honestly, if you guys take the same enthusiasm as you do to applying to the degen side of things and the you've got a pretty hard meme game. This is one of the strongest meme communities going around. If you guys put a little bit of you get given an opportunity to launch a community inside of one of these shops and to bring to welcome people in as well, I think you'll make it a pretty engaging place. And I think that if Discord's anything to go by, I think once we start spending more time in the vault, it's going to be the go-to type of place. I still catch myself walking around there a lot for 10 or 15 minutes every day and thinking to myself, I'm gonna miss being able to walk around and have this to myself without having people coming up. And it's great to interact with people and talk and all the rest of it. What I mean is it's going to be very not long before you can't walk around without actually enjoying everything, seeing everything as it began. You can never rewind that.
To make our own instance, an internal instance that is just ours. I've actually thought about that before. It'd be cool to have a separate instance for community and everything, and you can control that from the back end with the live op stuff. You can actually say tonight it's just community and us, and you can actually have your own instance for that one night. And they're the cool sort of things we can do with the live op stuff that we're implementing.
Coleman sent over a free pack. There goes the BFIL lost forever in Benny's wallet. No, it's not. That's not nice. I'll have to tell this story so many times, but I was trading and I was trading regularly. And then one time somebody asked me to make them a trade. I traded knowingly, broke a set, an ultra rare from the first edition. They put together that set. They said that they'd been chasing that for a long time. And literally like a couple of days later, they said, I'm selling it, and sold it really cheap. And I was like, oh no, and now I can never, ever complete that set again. So I took a little break from it, and then I came back, and it's very hard to keep up because you've got to thumb through and find out what you've got, what sets you're breaking. And I look forward to having a better system for organising the sets. I'll open them, Madame, and then I'll share, and I'll make sure that everyone knows what I get from that. And I do appreciate the team sending that over from Warsaken. Thank you. So when products all tie in, do we focus on scaling organically or Web2 brands bringing in their people? That's a very good question, XP. I'll tell you my view, and my view is not endorsed or the opinions of anybody else, but I'll tell you my view, and that is people buying partnerships with Web2 brands doesn't work. There is living proof data of that everywhere else. They're expensive in a bear market as well when you sign multi-year contracts with big brands to be able to say that they are part of your world. Or what you have to do, and this is also a proven issue, is just give away a ton of land to people or brands that may or may not do anything. And that doesn't bring in people either. What you have to do is bring in the creators and make sure that you're building immersive experiences, and attack from this angle of bringing in people as well, especially people that will remain engaged if you've got the right type of metrics. And then it's up to you to work double time to make sure that those people are staying there, that they're engaged, they're having great experiences that they would want to tell their friends about. The brands will then come. But when the brands do come to that environment, because brands follow hype, they don't bring hype, they should be paying top dollar to get access to your audience and to your world. So the short answer to that is the organic growth that we get from building the right experiences and giving tools to people that are easy to use and bringing in these communities is that brands will then want to join. But we are speaking to more brands again now, but it's more reputable businesses, I would say, that we're getting closer to having tools ready, so it makes it easier to have those conversations now, right? So our biggest fear at the beginning is, as always, we've got to get the ball rolling. We've got to put out some examples and show people what can be built and what type of quality standard we've got. F.U.R.G.S set a really high benchmark. We've got to try and make sure that everything's that type of level, and then hurry up and give people the tools to be able to build something of that level as well, or pair them up with partners that we have that can build to that level as well. What we don't want is a ton of rubbish or stuff that people think is just not engaging or don't want to use. We want to make it that the experiences in each of these shop spaces and apartments is are something that really, really gets people in there. Will 200 and 201 see each other when in a different instance?
I did answer that. But no, they won't as it stands, but we can keep friends together, and we can control that number per scene. So when we sort of get a handle on what the load is on some of these scenes, like we could say in the main quarter, you can have, several hundred people. In a shop or in an apartment, you can only have, say it's an apartment, you might have 10, and then in a shop you have 50. So we can adapt that number per scene. So it's not a hard and fast rule. It's just an example I gave, that's all.
And DGen, then you're spot on the money, mate. You've said it has to be an experience they want to participate in from the first time they experience it. And again, when you're doing stuff like we're talking about with these types of community-run businesses, and again, I think you guys would do an amazing job of that. You'll have mechanisms, right? If there's not a lot to do and you've got a shop space and you've built that out, there's an experience in the sphere, but there's still not a huge amount to do. It'll become more about the socializing, right? And people talking about what could be and meeting up and looking at progress. And when you can come back in every week and it's like a new world because so much has happened, that's a great situation to be in. But you would offer certain types of things. So with these types of DAOs or projects that would launch, it might require the participants to go somewhere in the world or to do a task. And what you should be doing is making sure that people say, wow, have a look at this. It's not just a matter of saying, I want to walk from point A to point B, press X button or whatever, and then I'm off. You want people to be able to say, wow, what's that thing? Let me go and have a look at that. So enticing experiences are very, very important because it is a hurdle. If people have had to put a headset on, for example, get a headset, walk in there, what you don't want them to do is say, oh, that was cool. But yeah, maybe I'll come back in 10 years and see what the progress is like. You've got to be able to say, look, you've done a ton of effort and taken some time to get here, and we want to make sure that journey is amazing. And again, our job is to get out that platform, to get the ball rolling. And what we really want to do is have people come in and say, you know what would be really cool? And us say, guess what? We've got tools. You can actually build and implement that. So go for it. It's connecting the dots between what's possible and what you're capable of doing, and making sure that people take the initiative to say, oh, this is great. I'm early. I'm in this space early. I've got an opportunity to really build something amazing, or to be one of the first, and then that should flow on to great experiences and projects. Is there any transaction issues that could arise from multiple instances being run simultaneously? Transaction issues. So you mean, is there the possibility of two people in different instances seeing the same object for sale, for example, both clicking to purchase that item at the same time, and not being able to, something like that?
Yeah. No, you can only, as a user, you can only exist once. So there's a user ID in the back end, so you can only exist once. But you're saying if two people are trying to purchase, two separate people are trying to purchase the same item and don't actually realize that they are there at the same time.
Yeah.
Potentially, but it would just be whoever got in first on that transaction would win. But I mean, there's possibly contention issues if they happen at the identical time, but that could happen on a marketplace as well. You could have two people trying to buy exactly the same NFT. So I guess it's the same issue. Yeah.
Happens all the time. That's why when you have launches, you have gas wars.
Yeah.
Nice thing about blockchain is there's no bitching and fighting about it. It is decided. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the chain would decide it, not so much the tools we're using. It would just be the transaction would be pushed off, and they'd be handled how they would be handled in any other marketplace.
Lucky Luke, then why not make a permanent instance for employee community OGs that we can choose to join? Hanford, that's a very... Okay, so if you probably remember this, Hanford, you were around in the beginning. you probably remember this. When we first brought out COGs, we were talking about using different COGs for access to things, and we were talking about RFOX 2020s. We definitely have the ability to have access based on assets that you would have. But it's a very good point that you make, because some of the suggestions that we've had come through have been awesome, and whether they're being in passing or Twitter threads or whatever. But I forget the term that the person used, but something like an Admirals Club, and they said, why can't you make extra sky floating apartments and make one that's just for longer term, might have been you, was it? For longer term people and original people that have been around since the beginning, or people that hold OGs. We can 100% do that type of thing, and there'll be communities that do that type of thing. For example, that say if you don't have a call cat, you can't come in. There'll be access-based stuff for sure and certain, and that is something that is definitely likely to transpire. We've also got, for example, when you've got your mega moons, if there's an event, that would be you'd have a proof of ownership, and you would be entitled to free access to events. So 100% that can happen and will happen. Will we see friends using Pico? I've been asked that question several times in the last week, but just different variations of that HTC vibe. Hive, Luke, I think what can we say as a blanket statement is that we would look to obviously incorporate as much VR technology as humanly possible. People keep asking why Quest and all the rest of it. Again, some of the questions we've been asked in the last few days is why Unity. Unity has 38% of the market share for gaming engine, as opposed to Unreal, which is 15. Has a ton more developers. It's users access. Quest has, depending on where you read, somewhere between 66 and 77% of the market share. It's like massive. Pico has about 8%, depending on which report you read. DPVR has about 8%, and the rest make up 11 or 12%. So, and that includes Hive and all the rest of it. So the thing is that we've chosen the number one gaming engine. We've chosen the number one headset technology for now, but obviously there has to be a crossroads at some time where you can use more, or someone else will take the lead in the technology stakes. Ultimately speaking, our job is to provide a platform with great products and immersive experiences, but ultimately we don't want to have huge barriers to access, and we want to be able to be as accommodating as is humanly possible. But I don't know how you can sort of predict that, Luke.
Yeah, with Pico in particular, we can't do that because Pete's got one, and I've promised myself that as long as Pete has a Pico, we'll never release it on that device. So my hands are tied there. So much I can do about it, I'm afraid. If another device comes out that Pete doesn't buy, then sure, we'll adopt that platform for sure.
Just walks around yelling out the pineapples. They look so real.
And we'll make it happen so fast that it'll piss him off even more. Like, it has to happen, almost instantly. So we'll drop everything and get it going on that new platform. Now, I mean, we're definitely not ruling out Pico, but as Ben said, we have to go where the people are. And right now, it's just Pete and a couple of Chinese guys that are using it. So we'll park it for now, I think.
Welcome to Political Correctness. Welcome to Political Correctness Hour, where your host, Luke Fairbank.
No, well, like, in all seriousness, it's a Chinese device for the Chinese market, and just, I mean, it's like, it's not, there's nothing blocking it from working outside of China, obviously, but it's made for that market, and at the moment that market is limited on that device. So
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Pete.
I knew you'd have an opinion on this, Pete. Go ahead.
No. For some reason, I was talking and it wasn't going through. The audio feed was not going through. I think my headset might be busted. So
you got to take the Pico off, mate, and then the world works again.
No, that's the thing. So to comment on Luke's statement about we're gonna wait for a headset that Pete doesn't have. That's gonna be difficult because Pete's gonna buy every single one out there to test.
Yeah,
Pete's doing a lot of
it
research.
could be on me then.
Stephen DS, can't wait to start seeing collections of Vault-enabled avatars launch. As you know, we've got an avatar creation tool coming soon, so that's going to pave the way for people to be able to create metaverse-ready avatars, as well as also creators to start looking at customized accessories and stuff like that as well. So this is good. And as you will see with the proposal that comes out on Friday, there is there's a way for these creators to be rewarded, as well as also rewarding the communities as well. So we've got a really good system for that. Yeah, so don't forget, if you've got an OG and you are interested in potentially participating as far as like a council member or as a person to set that up, you would have to get voted in, but raise your hand so that if the vote does go through, you can be on the radar for nominating yourself. Can be from anything, just needs to sewer file format Unity support. There you go. Okay, we are just about into degen time, right? With the new citizens dropping, what's your favorite Bitcoin betting? Actually, I've seen all the early ones and all the rest of it. I've tried to resist after seeing the bases and the models and the different things come through. I've resisted looking at what the finals look like, but again, going back to what we were talking about the other day, I think I like the ones with the almost looks like spray paint on their outfits, because if you have a real close look at their helmets and all the rest of it, it really does look like someone's kind of coloured it in but unfinished. It's a kind of a very controlled chaos, and it looks really, really good. But I think being a Colaxi fan, I think the Colaxi uniforms from the Standard Citizens I personally think they're much cooler. I think that they look really, really good. But yeah, it's everybody's got to have their own different opinions, and I think the good part about the Standard Citizens is they're so different to the OGs, but yet they keep the theme as far as colours and styles and stuff are concerned. I think there is a very big possibility for people to have just as much love and affection for some of the Standard Citizens as they do for the OGs from a design perspective, and they could be across quarters, because I find myself sort of flipping between a couple of quarters and want a good representation. But I will say this, I'm likely to use a Standard Citizen as an avatar, because if you notice, I haven't chosen an avatar yet for Twitter and Discord and that, but when I do, I will make sure it's a keeper. I'll keep it for forever. I can't wait for those reveals, to be honest. It's going to be amazing. There you go. Thanks, Phil. Phil posted it. That one on the far left. But look, don't you think the one in Colaxi, the Colaxi ones there, they look tight. They've got a bit of a Star Wars feel to them. I really like them. I think they're really good. Okay, so thank you so much to the Warsaken community, and also to the leaders for coming across and spending some time with us. We look forward to repaying that and coming to spend some time with you guys, and for the gifts that you've showered us with. We appreciate that. And to everybody from our community who's come in and given their time again today, we really appreciate that. Again, don't
Sorry,
forget to
Ben.
vote. Yes.
I'm going to cut you right there before we end all this. So this was actually asked last week, and we had mentioned that we'll be drawing the minters of the apartment sale.
Oh, yes. That's
Yeah.
kind of a massive thing. I forgot about. That's massive.
No worries. Yeah. So I'm just going to read out what is up for grabs for the minters. So minters here is those who had purchased an apartment during our recent sale. And we have 3 winners for today. We have a grand prize of 10 apartments and an OG. we have the first runner-up, which will have 5 apartments, and the second runner-up will have 3 apartments. So I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see how many people are eligible for that. Alrighty, so the rules of the game, or the rules of the lucky wheel for today. As you can see, there are 376 details or addresses on the wheel. They have all been duplicated. I'm just going to be very transparent with everybody. You can see every duplication. So basically, the more they mint it, the higher their chances of winning. So I'm just going to go through all the way down. And ta-da. So I'm going to shuffle this. And after selection, then the duplications of the wallets will be taken out of the wheel because you can only win once. And we are going to do it backwards. So basically, if your name is selected on the first draw, you will get the third prize. Second will get second, and the third will get the first prize, which is, I bet everybody's looking forward to getting 10 apartments. So for those who have minted, may the odds be in your favor. I'm going to shuffle this for 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're drawing for the third prize winner. This person will walk away with 3 apartments.
Lucky, lucky, lucky! I missed that.
All right, I'm gonna remove this all instances. All right, there we go. We're gonna draw the second prize winner. And the grand prize winner will be drawing right now. For those who are still in the running, I do hope you guys get this. Wow, this guy only had 1 instance.
What?
All right. Yeah, the guy only had 1. The guy only had 1 instance. So these 3 winners, we'll definitely send over your prizes, and congratulations, everybody who
Imagine minting 1.
Yeah,
and you won.
get 10. Exactly. he literally only had 1 entry because if not,
Yeah, that's me, but I didn't get it.
Aww. All right, so I'm good for that. I'm good for today. Congratulations, everybody. And thank you for the Warsaken crew for coming over. We really enjoyed it. We look forward to next week. And we'll be giving out some prizes like Ben said.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you very shortly.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
great night. See ya.
Adios. Thanks for having us.
Cheers, everybody.
See you next week.
See you next week.